In an ultra-modern city like Singapore, where everything seems to be a skyscraper made of concrete and glass, Little India is a really welcome change of pace. It's Singapore's most colorful neighborhood, and in this video, I'm gonna show you around. All right, and with the music here in the background, I am starting this walk in front of the Tecca Center, which is the big hawker center and market in the heart of Little India. This is Campbell Lane, a pedestrian street that we're gonna check it in a moment. And right here, this is the Little India Arcade that we're gonna dive into. These are a set of buildings that were built in 1913, and they've been turned into a little street market inside in 1995. And as we go through here, you can see all these vendors selling Indian goods, Indian food, and of course, more Indian statues in here, Indian homeopathic care. But I want to take you outside because it's outside of this arcade that I think it's also really quite interesting. Now in Singapore, it's a very like modern and clean city where like nothing is on the sidewalks, but life here in Little India is on the sidewalks. This is Campbell Lane that I pointed out to you before, and it's a pedestrianized street, so no cars can drive down here. And if you'll notice, there are all these vendors that, like, their stores are out on the sidewalk. I mean, their stores are in their stores, but their stores are also out on the sidewalk too. I'm gonna walk down that sidewalk in just a moment, but also I feel like one of the iconic pictures to take in Little India is of this set of buildings that I started with my introduction. This is Buffalo Road, and just these like two-story restored shop houses. Okay, so let's go down here, down Campbell Lane, through the supermarket. This is, you know, just where the supermarket is. This is where you would do your grocery shopping if you lived here in the neighborhood. Maybe get a coconut to drink. They've got the knife because they cut that right up. If you think that coconut's cold, it's not, because it's not refrigerated. Now, most of the sidewalks we'll be able to walk down. We'll be able to walk on the sidewalk, but you can see you actually can't walk down the sidewalk because the stores have taken over the sidewalk here. This big glassy building that we see, this is the Little India or Indian Heritage Center, which was new since the last time I've been here, as you can tell. We have a lot of statues and plates and bowls and peacock feathers and flowers. Nice decoration here. We got pots and pans and home appliances. We have golden statues of elephants. And in the back there, you can see more of Singapore's central business district. When I say Singapore is tall and modern, that's what the rest of Singapore looks like. You know, it's at least 20 or 30 stories. We've got a travel agency right here, where you can also get your visas to Malaysia, the neighboring country just to the north. Looks like we got a tour group that was exploring this neighborhood, and this is definitely like, if you're looking for interesting cultural attractions to explore while you're in Singapore, I mean, this is definitely one of them right at the top. Now, that Tecca Center that I pointed out earlier, that's going to be your spot if you're looking for as many Indian foods under one roof. You are going to find it right there. And if we've got time, I'll take you in there a little bit later in this walking tour. And assuming I can find it again and I don't get completely lost. And that's the thing, when I'm recording these videos, you know, I can't put on Google Maps or anything like that. Okay, so we're gonna come down this street, which is another one where the market's the market. This is the actual building, and then this is the sidewalk, and there's like refrigerators out here that are plugged in. I don't think these supermarkets ever close, and so I don't think they ever have to bring these things in. The pigeons have decided that that's a good home for them. All right, we're gonna come out in the street because in Singapore, usually you can't walk on the street most places, but here, since you can't really walk on the sidewalk, a lot of people walk on the street. You'd likely be ticketed for walking on the street in the other parts of Singapore. We got a cell phone shop here. We've got a luggage shop. We've got cell phone repair. Thank you. And the sidewalks here are like really narrow, so pretty much only one person can walk by at a time. Just past a little cafe, though I'm doing this at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, so as you could imagine, the restaurants are not that busy. If you're looking to pick up some luggage because you bought too many souvenirs to bring back home, you can do that here. And so it's a rainy place and a sunny place. The way people like protect their goods from the rain or the sun is putting some blankets or towels on them often. We've got the House of Fashion Jewelry here at Ladies Park. This is also right near the Malaysian epicenter in Singapore, and so you'll see a lot of Malaysian women wearing their headscarves in the neighborhood. That was where I was actually just before filming this. Let's go down this little alley here between the shop houses, listening to the music. Like a lot of these places are playing their music. People who work in these stores sit in the back alley, take their shoes off, take a break. We got like a mop hanging out over here. I mean, this back alley, this does not look like the rest of Singapore. Definitely. You could take some really interesting Instagram photos down here, but I don't think you just want to see little India's back alleys. Well, the reason why I turned down here was because I saw the street art on the building back here that I thought was pretty neat looking. So let's pop over here and take a look at that street art. I mean, that's some impressive paintings on that wall. Okay, Little India is also well known for having the best exchange rates for money changers. So you'll find like the most money changers of anywhere in Singapore here in Little India. Okay, this is the main road that I started the video on. We're making our way back to the Tecca Center. So that means Chris did not get lost. That car was really quite loud. And so that's good, right? A lot of, in addition to money changers, pawn shops. So here's a pawn shop for jewelry. And here's one that appears to not be a pawn shop, but just jewelry sales. And this is looking at those colorful shop houses again. Oh, we're neat. Oh, and let's take a look at the paintings here on the wall of this building. Oh, that's pretty cool. Woman dancing. You can pick up some sarongs in here. This is how the worker blocks the sun with the yellow cloth. Oh, and if our timing's right, then the light changes just for us to cross the street. Look at that. Perfect timing. Okay, so this is the Tecca Center, the epicenter of Indian food in the neighborhood. One of 100-ish hawker centers that are here. And they let you know to not loiter around the passageway, staircase, and lift lobby. And you'll see written in numerous languages because they speak numerous languages here in Singapore. These signs tell you all about the history of the neighborhood. Oh, and there's also, owing to the multicultural nature of Singapore, in Little India, you will find mosques, you will find churches, and you will find Hindu temples. If you're going in the temples, you do have to take off your shoes, and if you have bare shoulders, you'll need to cover them, and you'll also need to cover your legs as well. Many of the bigger temples will provide coverings for you, and they typically all welcome visitors to share their faith with you. Earlier, I haven't been in the Little India ones yet today, but I was over at the Sultan Mosque in Kampong Glam. All right, so we'll go up this staircase into the first level of the Tecca Center, and a slightly different setup, I feel like, compared to the Chinatown Hawker Center, where Chinatown they sell goods on the first floor and put the food on the second floor. Here, the foods are on the ground floor. The shops are on the second floor, and then the wet market, or I wouldn't really call it a supermarket, but a market that sells produce, meat, things like that, is down on the ground floor. So you'll find Indian foods at pretty much all the hawker centers here in Singapore, but this is where you'll definitely find the greatest collection of them. It's not all just Indian food. I just passed a Thai food up here on the left. This is Sri Lankan food. But here's a typical, Indian stall right here, where we've got different curries, different side items. We've got the drink stall, and let's go. I mean, this complex is really quite massive. Over here is the little temple in the hawker center, as there are in many of the hawker centers. Okay, this area seems mostly closed. It is 4 o'clock, so this is kind of like off hour, not lunch, not yet dinner. But there's quite a lot of people eating here at 4 o'clock, if you think about it. Okay, let's go over to this section over here. This seems a little bit busier. You'll notice that the food return trays, these say halal, and so the foods are either halal or non-halal, and they don't mix the plates. They wash the halal plates separately from the non-halal plates. Here is a biryani specialist, which you could kind of say is the Indian equivalent of fried rice. I know that's over-exaggeration, but biryani is quite delicious if you've never had it before. They make it really good here in Singapore. This stall is all Muslim food. And certainly, for practicing Muslims, I'm recording this during Ramadan, so they're not going to be eating right now because they're fasting. Indian and Pakistan food, and here we even get some waffles. All right, I'm going to take you up to the second floor, and let's check out the merchandise section. Now, clearly coconut milk is popular, or coconut juice is popular, so they got shopping carts of the used coconut juice. Oh, and they got this sign, I guess it's really big in Singapore now, where they fine you if you don't clear your table, and so they got these posters up here to remind people that you need to clear your table. Okay, so we see there are some produce stalls that are back here. I think there's more in the basement too. All right, coming up to the second floor. From here we can look down on that courtyard a little bit. They've covered it with a net to keep the birds out. Nasty birds who want to eat your food, if that's what you're doing. All right, and up here we've got a watchtower. Oh, here's a map to show you the layout of the Tecca Center. We're here, the open court, sort of nothing. That's over there. Restrooms. We've got shoes. We've got dresses. We've got mannequins wearing dresses. We have a tailor. And we've got really colorful dresses. I mean, it's cool just to oh, we have another temple here in the back. We've got clothes for women. We've got clothes for men. What do you think? Shall I pick one of these up for my next episode? I would absolutely die here in the Singapore weather wearing an outfit like this. It is so hot here. And of course, I sweat I'm leaking or something like that. But clearly I am not adapted to this weather. We have another tailor over here. And then this is more of the women's clothes section. I like how bright it is in here, and I like how tall the ceilings are. It's actually pretty airy for a hawker center. We have a whole watch shop here with G-Shock watches. I should check to see if they have any yellow watches. I'm always looking for more of these yellow G-Shocks. All right, and then that brings us to the escalator, which brings us back down to the street where we started this whole thing. Well, fellow explorers, if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some more of my videos from Singapore. You'll find links here on the screen or in the description below. And as usual, I won't say goodbye because I'm going to see you in one of those videos.